Bitcoin has been here for a little bit over 2 weeks at this stage, and in that time we hit the high once and hit the lows 3 times. That is not a good sign. After that, we've recovered right back up to the midpoint. Nothing out of the ordinary there. That's exactly what we were talking about in the previous video. So shout out to those of you that are subscribed and all that good stuff. And since then, we've just kind of been consolidating at what I'm just going to say is a resistance area. And the reason that I think time might be running out for Bitcoin is this is giving the bears an opportunity to almost regroup, regather, and get ready for another attack. And let me show you why. If we look at this on the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, we've got a huge resistance cloud right here. This is like as big as a 4-hour resistance cloud can get, to be honest. And you can already see we've potentially gotten a rejection right here. We're about to trade right into it. I mean, this is like swimming right into a shark's mouth. Not good, not a good place to be at the moment. And the reason that I'm worried about this is if you look at what happened previously when we did have a valid Ichimoku cloud, this has been a fairly reliable indicator, right? I mean, take a look at this right here, big rejection right here, another rejection with this wick. This didn't serve as a rejection. The next time we had a resistance cloud, we were okay. But the 3 times after that, we got some fairly decent corrections out of this cloud. And I mean, this is a consistently very, very reliable indicator. Look at this, guys. I mean, look at how many times it literally just acts as a glass ceiling. Just bam, got rejected, bam, got rejected, bam, got rejected, and again. And it was the other time right here that we broke through. So very, very strong area of resistance in my opinion, and it is now literally right where our price is. Not only that, if we look at this on the daily time frame, our EMAs are catching up. On the daily time frame, they are moving down fairly quickly, and the price is moving up to come towards them. This is, again, exactly what we were talking about in the previous videos. This is definitely something that we were expecting. You guys are going to know all about this if you've been tuning into this very, very time-sensitive content. And on the 4-hour time frame, we've now pretty much lost our spread, so there's nothing too much to see there. But I think this is an important place for Bitcoin. The best thing that I can see Bitcoin doing right now is moving back up to these highs, because like I said, we've hit the highs once and the lows 3 times. We need to equal this out a little bit if we want to have any chance at rising higher, and I still think that there's a good opportunity for the market to get a little bit of a fake out above this market low that we had. If we zoom out, you'll see what I mean, right? This is the low that we set back in June. I do think that there's still a possibility that Bitcoin can just get a little fuck you candle above this level and then come right back down for a deviation. Very, very typical price action, and definitely something which I think we should be expecting at this stage in the market, considering that we are just kind of trading sideways here. What I think is fair to say is that if we zoom in even closer, take a look at this. We kind of managed to get out of this range a little bit and then fell back in and found support. We kind of did that twice, right? I mean, I think it is fair to say that we are finding some support here, and we can actually refine these, support levels down a little bit. I think it's fair to say that, there's a little bit of action right here. There's a little bit right here, and then maybe something in the middle. You can see all these kind of candles that are opening and closing if we really, kind of get quite close and intimate with this price action. And to me, that's showing me that, kind of bouncing off some of these green lines here could be a good sign. So I'd like to see Bitcoin form a bit of a rally up. I'm going to move back to the box because I think it's a little bit more sensible to use a box for this particular situation. But I'd love to see Bitcoin get above this area. And I think that if Bitcoin can just get above this prior high that we set, when was it? Literally just yesterday, then we could be seeing a nice little rise up for Bitcoin, purely because this was our kind of prior high within this very short-term uptrend that we've set, right? If we take a look at this, we've got, lows, higher lows. Look at this, our lows are getting higher. I don't know about this one in particular, but they are generally getting higher, and our highs are also getting higher, right? So if we're able to get above a prior high like this, that can generally indicate that the market is about to take another leg up. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. The level to lose would be for bears 16.3, because this is our most recent low, and actually this is a higher low as well. So this would be the level to lose if you're looking at the market being a little bit more bearish, and that's because if we do manage to swing below here, I mean, that would be, again, the 3rd time that we're kind of falling down, and this does open up a pretty much empty range. I mean, really anything below 16.3, to me, it looks like a very, very easy drop down to at least $16,000, so that's a further $300 drop, which again, I just want to remind you guys at this kind of price level, that's like a 2.5% move. I mean, this is not a small move, because of the price that Bitcoin is at, which is why trading has become so lucrative in this market again. And we can see just small $200, $300, $400 moves resulting in pretty decent percentage moves. That's where this becomes much more attractive if we're leveraging this up, because a drop like this with, let's say, 10 times leverage is already going to be 26, 25% profit. That is absolutely enormous. I mean, you do the math on that. 25% profit on a $10,000 position is a good amount of money. You guys already know the deal. I'm going to be trading all of these things that I'm seeing in the market whenever I feel like they're safe on Bybit and BitGet. These are the two primary exchanges that I've been using as of late. And the thing about BitGet is that they're offering you a really, really cool bonus here, where if you wanted to trade something like this or whatever else, it doesn't really matter. And I'm absolutely not telling you what to do because I'm not your financial advisor. But if you wanted to take advantage of particular situations in the market, you can do that practically risk-free with the bonus that BitGet is giving you. See, when you deposit anything above $4,000 and then trade a little bit, you're going to be getting $400 in a USDT bonus. You can throw this $400 into anything you like. Leverage trade, spot buy, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I don't think this works for spot actually. And then whatever profits you make are yours to keep, and if you lose the money, it was never yours in the first place. That is free cash, so it doesn't even matter. Same thing for Bybit, but they're giving you up to $30,000, not up to $400, which is very, very cool indeed. And they're both linked in the description down below. BitGet available to use anywhere in the world without a VPN and without KYC, so well worth checking out. But let's bring it back to the video right here, because what I want to highlight for you guys is that if we do get this drop down, not only do I think we'd fall down to kind of 15.9, which like I said would be kind of like a 2.5% move, but I actually think we'd fall down to this low, which is closer to a 4.6% move down. And again, on leverage, that's a 46% profit. People are always like, I don't know how to make money in the markets. Look, this is how easy it can be. I'm not saying this is going to work. I'm not even particularly keen on trading something like this. It's just not clean enough for my liking. But this is still, I mean, if I had a higher risk tolerance, this is still something that I'd be considering doing. On that note, just while we're here, very quickly, I want to remind you guys that we are running a Black Friday sale. I haven't actually talked about this very much on YouTube yet. This launched today. Today's the first day we're officially promoting it. You're getting 60% off everything that we offer. So follow the links in the description. Just whatever these red boxes are showing you, just click these. It's super quick, no downloads, no signups required. It's going to put you in a direct chat with me, and I'll give you all that information. And if I can't respond to you, one of my assistants will. We work around the clock, that is. Back to the price action though. Nice little kind of 4 or 5% drop to be seeing here. If we do end up coming back down here, I am going to have to expect that this area of support will break. I don't expect that it's going to last. And so if it does break, that is going to be potentially another kind of 10, 11% down until we reach my next area of support, which is going to be down here at 13.8. So again, from there, we've already done this calculation previously. It's an 11% drop. And from losing this level, because I really think that this could just turn into one of these big kind of waterfall sell-offs, that becomes 15% profit. Again, I think it's really interesting to think about, like with a 10x leverage, that is already 150% profit. That's more than 2.5 times gain on your money, which is very, very cool. And to give you an idea of what I think this would look like, it's actually exactly what's happened right here, is what I potentially think could happen to Bitcoin now. And I'll show you what that would look like. And by the way, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm just saying that if it did, it would make a lot of sense. Let's take a look at this and just kind of show you what that would look like. Bam, it would be potentially something a little bit like this, probably not as heinous as this, because that puts us down to $10,500, which could definitely still happen. But I think when you kind of look at the market like this, it becomes a little bit easier to visualize, that we've been testing the lows constantly, and the next time we come down here, it just turns into a really absolutely shit trading environment. Definitely something that I think is on the cards. And so that's something I'd be watching out for. Like I said, there is support down here, but as far as, other kind of support indicators go, I'm not really seeing any. I don't see any reasons to be particularly optimistic as far as technical support goes. There are other reasons to be optimistic, because we've got, for example, the fear and greed index, which is still flatlining in extreme fear, literally flatlining in extreme fear, guys. I've been talking about this for a very, very long time. When we have factors like this present in the market, these are big signs that the market could be ready to move up, right? So this is still, in my opinion, technically a technical indicator, but it's not the same as this charting kind of stuff that we're doing, right? As in terms of this chart, there's just nothing that I think is particularly good about this, but it's going to be more the sentiment. It's going to be more things like, what direction are people trading? Are people generally kind of trading the downside or trading the upside? And let's actually take a look at this, because I haven't seen this data for a little bit. Looking at this on the 24-hour time frame. Yeah, so we've got right here, the majority of retail traders are long right now on Binance. Majority of top traders are long right now as well. And the majority of Bybit traders are short. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but still generally looking like the market is trading the upside, which unfortunately generally means that, these are very broad generalizations. They absolutely don't have to apply. But with what we've seen, yeah, it generally does imply that the market might be taking a little bit of a tumble down. And again, because we've only been in a downtrend, that's kind of what we're seeing, right? There's ways you can tell, for example, how often are we getting up to our higher levels of resistance? Not often at all right now, compared to how often we've been hitting our lows, right? So these are things that I think are important questions to be asking to help gauge where we might be. And kind of with these factors in mind, it's not looking too great if we do end up coming back down here. We could find support, and I certainly hope we do, but I don't want to, I would hope, but I don't want to hope. It's not a strategy, obviously. So that's something that I'm going to be keeping in mind if we do end up falling down here, that there could be a little bit of a further drop coming. And as I speak about this, I'm becoming more and more inclined on trading this kind of move. So I'm gonna look at that a little bit more off camera and decide what I'm gonna do about that. And then of course, if I do decide to trade that or anything else, that's gonna be forwarded straight into 𝗓𝗡ly's VIP, which you can join by following these steps on screen. Now, in terms of the upside, if we do manage to break up, like I said, I think we just need to get above this high. That's also going to clear a lot of the resistance in this range. So that's going to put us in a really good position. And I think it's going to be the same thing I've been talking about to the downside. We're going to be able to experience this moving up. Exactly the same situation where I was saying right here is almost like an empty gap. So true. So too is it over here. Wow, that's not easy grammar. I think you know what I was saying. Whatever was present here, I think will be present up here if we manage to get there. And so I would be expecting a nice, easy range, kind of 4 or 5% up again, at least up to that 17.6K level. But generally, when we hit important levels like that, we will deviate above. That's what we did last time. We had that deviation and came back down. That can make this potentially up to a 7-8% move as well. So again, really, really good numbers here. It's a brilliant time to be a trader right now. There are lots and lots of opportunities in the market. If we do manage to get up to this level, the next thing I'd like to see is, as a bull, potentially some sort of a retest. If we can get a bullish retest over here, that would be great to potentially take us right back up into the $18,000, $19,000 range. And once we get here, if we do, of course, nothing is guaranteed, but once we get up here, this is where we can really start to become quite positive again. The market, in my opinion, isn't actually in a bad place if it's anywhere above 18.5K. And the reason for me saying that is that's still close enough to the $20,000 area of support. And if we zoom out, if we do manage to get back above this green line here, let me make this a thick one because this really is the most important line on this chart in my opinion now. If we do manage to get above this green line, that makes all of this just one long annoying nightmare basically, that doesn't necessarily have to stay true for the market. So I'm going to be watching this keenly to see how it plays out, and if we do see the market get back above that green thick line, I think we're going to be in a pretty good position. So that is definitely something I'll be watching out for as this market continues to evolve. If we start to get there, that's where I'm going to be getting very, very excited. For now, like I said, just the fact that we have been moving down, there isn't a whole lot that's particularly bullish that we can extract from this chart. Let's move on to the dollar though. Let's take a look at what's been going on here. Obviously, we know very well that the Bitcoin price and the dollar tend to have an inverse correlation, which means when the dollar moves down, Bitcoin tends to move up, and when Bitcoin moves up, and when the dollar moves up, Bitcoin tends to move down. Currently, what we've seen here is a little bit of a slowing down of this downtrend for the dollar, but we did get a bounce, and that's what I was looking for. The fact that the dollar has now seen a bounce tells me that we could be ready to continue this downtrend. We don't need to continue it quickly. The dollar could just trade sideways for a matter of weeks or months. This is the US dollar we're talking about. It moves very slowly. But the fact that we've had a bounce now is absolutely phenomenal. As long as we don't get above 108, which is the prior high that we set with this bounce, as long as we don't get above this level now, I think we're in a really, really good place. If we do get above, then we're probably going to be hitting this next area of resistance at 110. This rise here would probably spell some trouble for Bitcoin and the S&P 500 and so on, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. But just from what I'm seeing right now, if we are able to get the dollar rising above this green line, I think that there could be a little bit more of a rise for the dollar. But otherwise, as it stands right now, I think the dollar is in a pretty good position to continue dropping down. And that is absolutely great for those of us who are speculating on these markets, because if the dollar is going to continue to drop, that generally means that more money is going to be flooded into indices and assets like the S&P 500. And taking a look at this, it is moving beautifully. If there's anything that represents absolutely stunning price action, just 10 out of 10 textbook beautiful price action, it has been the S&P 500 as of lately. I am able to trade this on Prime XBT, and fortunately so are you by following the link in the description down below. When you follow that link, you're going to be getting up to $7,000 in bonuses. Absolutely huge stuff depending on your deposit size and discounts on fees. And the very cool thing about Prime XBT is that you can trade a lot of different stuff. Not only can you trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all the standard cryptos, but you can also trade the S&P 500, gold, silver, oil, and Forex, all of this with a Bitcoin deposit. I actually made a video about Prime XBT yesterday, so go ahead and check that out if you don't know how to use it and all that stuff. But this is a phenomenal exchange. I have been using them for years, and I have very much enjoyed using them. So please take a look at it if this is something that interests you. I can't remember which territories this is available in. I think it's not available in the US, unfortunately, and stuff like that. But still well worth checking out. Very, very comprehensive exchange, and to be able to trade all these other markets is great. You're going to be seeing more of Prime XBT on this YouTube channel moving forward. We used to work with them in the past. We're working with them again right now, and I want to bring this to your attention a little bit more because the S&P 500 has been moving so well, and it hurts me that I wasn't able to trade it for so long, but now I am. So I'm back, and we're gonna take advantage of this. So here's the thing. The S&P 500 got above this area of resistance, came back down, found support, and is now moving up again. Unfortunately, it's a Friday, which is a good and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because we might not be able to continue this price action for very long, although there's a lot left in this trading session. Many of you are going to be watching this video while the S&P 500 trading session is still open. But it's also good news because if we're ending the week on a high note, that generally bleeds on into Monday. Bleed is the wrong word. That generally just leads on into Monday, because if Friday ends well, generally the following trading session on Monday will go pretty well at this, as well, I guess. And we've already seen that happen since this low. I've given you guys the same analysis previously since this low, and it has been correct as well. So take a shot every time I say well over the last few minutes. And with that in mind, this absolutely to me represents some very, very healthy price action. It's the fact that we've already covered this before, and I've given you guys the same analysis with the same kind of, I'm not saying things that are particularly groundbreaking. This is fairly straightforward, simple, grounded, objective analysis. It worked out really well for us, and I don't think that anything is different for the S&P 500 now. So I'm going to be waiting to see what happens to the S&P 500 if it manages to get up here. Not going to talk too much about this because I actually covered it in yesterday's Prime XBT video, but in short, there is a little bit of kind of price action and reversal action that has happened around this yellow box, which stretches between 41.20 and 41.70 to be honest. So this is going to be a range that I'm looking at for a little bit of resistance from the S&P 500. If we do manage to get up a little bit higher, this is where I think it could end. But to be honest, I think that as we go higher, our resistance with the S&P 500 is thinning. So I'm actually not too worried about it. I guess the next real area to worry about will be 4,300, but we're very far away from that. We're about 275 points away from that at the moment. So I'm not worried about it as it stands right now. That's really, really far away. What is that in percentage terms? Yeah, it's like a solid 6% move up. So, it's not close, and it's not something that I'm particularly worried about because of that. So that's the S&P 500. That's what I'm seeing right there. Standard coins like Ethereum and so on, just doing the same thing as Bitcoin, a little bit worse, a little bit better, depends on the day. Ethereum against Bitcoin, again, not looking particularly interesting in any direction. A bunch of the altcoins have recovered a little bit. Solana is an interesting one. Obviously, there's been a lot of fear and uncertainty and doubt around Solana. It's kind of right back up, similar to Bitcoin. So it looks like this drama might have wrapped up, at least temporarily, but these are things that I'll be keeping an eye on. Right now, I think the star of the show is still going to be Bitcoin as far as the crypto industry goes, but this is going to be at the mercy of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and so on and so forth. And of course, they're going to be moving in relation to the dollar and other assets like oil. So there you go. That's this video wrapped up. I've got some really good news for you guys. Tomorrow, hopefully, you're going to be seeing my interview with Ben Zhao, CEO and founder of Bybit, coming out on this YouTube channel. So I asked you guys for questions on one of our live streams. Those of you who've been tuning in, who've been subscribed, taking the bell, able to catch this content when it's released, would have had a chance to put forward some of your suggestions, and I did also ask Ben Zhao those things. It is a 1 hour long, roughly, interview. It went very, very well. He didn't have the questions up front. Nothing was off the cards. I was able to ask him anything I wanted, and I think he did. I think he did fairly well. I wasn't asking easy questions. I'm very excited for you to see it. It's going to be dropping on this YouTube channel just tomorrow, most likely. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on it. I'm actually just in the process of editing it because there was a lot of quite complicated stuff which I wanted to make sure you would understand. Him and I started to geek out a little bit, which I should have saw coming, but I didn't anticipate that happening. And because of that, I need to now go in post-production and add some definitions for complex topics that we're talking about, so that I want these videos to be understandable by the average person. That might not happen, but as close to that goal as I can get is going to be a happy place for me. And because of that, it's going to take a little bit more time to bring out, but I'm actually already halfway done editing it. It doesn't take long. So tomorrow is hopefully going to be the date. If you've enjoyed this one, though, you know what to do. Check out Prime XBT to get yourself set up to be able to trade these indices, commodities, and Forex markets, as well as crypto. And if you want to take advantage of all this crypto price action, BitGet's still offering you a very, very big bonus, right? Prime XBT, by the way, 7% bonus. BitGet, 10% bonus with this figure right here. And Bybit is, it depends on what you deposit, but, it can be around 10% or more or less. It really depends. This $30,000 deposit, for example, this bonus right here, this is actually more than a 10% bonus. You only have to deposit I say only as if this is fucking easily achievable, but you only have to deposit $250,000 and you get $30,000 back, which is a huge bonus. That's bigger than 10%, but obviously it's also quite a large bonus. In any case, what these bonuses represent on each exchange is free money that you can trade with, which means that you can throw these into trades that you don't particularly care about, and it doesn't really matter because you're not even risking your own money. So these are great opportunities to be able to take advantage of what's going on in the market and, get your hands dirty, roll up your sleeves a little bit and see if this is something that you're interested in. The links to everything here are in the description, and don't forget the VIP is running with a 60% off discount right now with some really, really cool profits that our members have been pulling recently. I haven't even got the most recent ones on screen. This was one of our recent trades that actually I had to close out very close to break even. I haven't got the most recent screenshots of our absolutely beautiful performance from members on screen yet. I do have them, they're just not on screen, and I can't drag. I'm trying. Look, you can see I'm trying to drag an image on here, but it doesn't work. So unfortunately, I'll just get you that in the next one. You know what to do if you've enjoyed this. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, all that, and I'm out. Cheers.